Okay, so we should be good. So whenever you are ready, go for it, my dear. Thank you for doing this.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, no problem. You guys can all hear me all right? Yes, yes.
You should be
Good?
No, no, no.
try and mute everybody. Mute, 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 mute. And you guys know if you have questions or whatever, you can always chat or unmute yourself.
Yeah, I've got my chat open on my screen here too, so I'll see it pop up.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, awesome. We're good to go then? Okay, well, hi ladies. Just I guess I'll quickly introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. I'm Mallory Fulliard. I joined Zaya back in May. I live in a very small community, St. Lazare in Manitoba. Yeah, I know our province has the fewest, close to the fewest amount of reps in Canada. Working on getting those numbers up. Yeah, I've got two little boys, a 2-year-old named Tave. He's a larger than life personality. And then I've got a 3-month-old, just turned 3 months old, Hux. So yeah, we live in a small valley community. There's, not a whole lot that goes on around here. So yeah, I joined Zaya back in May. I work as a personal fitness trainer and nutritionist. Kind of slowly shifting to the back burner, not 100%, just with two little guys at home. It's hard to get away to do my classes and whatnot. So Zaya's been a really good fit so far. Funny thing, this is totally out of my comfort zone to be talking here with you guys today. It's funny, I had said right before I had tapes, so that would have been 2 years ago, that I was no longer going to do things that put me out of my comfort zone. I was just going to say no. I have the decision, yes or no, to do it. I'm just going to say no. I'm not big into public speaking. Actually, in college, we had to do, I'll give you a quick little recap here, for my personal fitness training diploma. At the end of our practicum experience, we had to do a big presentation, and it was in a great big theater, where it's the tiered seating and you're standing at a podium and everybody's kind of looking down at you. And back then, what I did to feel good about myself was I popped into Lululemon, believe it or not, to get myself a really cute outfit. Got myself a zip up and pants, and who would have thought that was in 2006? So even back then, I'm like, oh, I need some clothing that I feel awesome in to go and attempt to rock this presentation. Long story short, I got all choked up. My face was red. It honestly sounded like I was crying. And in my presentation, I thought I completely bombed it. Everybody stood up and clapped. They thought I was that emotional about my practicum experience. And that's the last time I spoke in front of a group as a trainer. I can yell at you in front of 50 women. I can yell at you. I can say, do 5 more reps and not think twice about it. This a little bit out of my comfort zone, so I hope you guys can kind of bear with me here. So when Aaron had posted about, us jumping in and trying to lead a call, I thought, damn, what am I going to do? I feel like I'm fairly new and I'm still navigating and figuring out. We all are, right? In college, I failed business. That was the only course I failed was business, believe it or not. So this to me has been total trial and error. You find a groove, you think, hey, it's going great, and you got to shift, you got to change it. So I thought, I'll talk a bit on parties, because I do find for myself right now, that's where I'm having the most success. I would say 90% of my sales are coming from my parties. 10%, 15% are from the customers that I'm developing, getting a bit of a rapport with. But my parties are my true money maker, and I actually do enjoy doing them. Right now, I've been focusing a lot on online, just because I've got 2 little guys at home, and it's not as easy to, get out and about. So I've been doing a lot of the online parties. When I do my parties, I think a lot about strategy. Yes, it's a party, it's got to be fun, but I'm also running a business and it's my time, right? So I really try to use strategy and think of it strategically. So I guess I'll just kind of start with my host. So we all know that the rewards are awesome, right? Like a host does get a lot for just kind of throwing their hand in the air and say, hey, yeah, I'll host, I'll add some ladies to the group and you run it. And then, you know, they walk away with some pretty awesome stuff at a really good price. So I put a lot on my hostesses, actually, believe it or not, because there's no fee to host and you get some pretty awesome stuff. So I usually, you know, set them up with a little bit of initiative. I do a bingo for my hostesses. So, you know, get your 4 corners for $25 towards your party order. So there's tasks for them to complete, and it's just to help with engagement. I find, and I know probably most of you know, the more host engagement we have, the better. A lot of these parties we're running are for women we don't know, so they're looking to the host. So I always set them up. They have a to-do list, you know, different things to check off to send out their invites. So I've got a to-do list that I provide to my hostesses and a bingo. I mean, the bingo is, you know, you can do anywhere from $5 to $50. But I find a lot of the times with doing giveaways and parties, you know, you do a $25 gift card draw, which is awesome towards a customer, but without the host kind of showing up and being there, I find my sales aren't the same. The host is driving a lot for me. So that's a big thing that I've found has really worked. And I also provide my hostesses with save the dates. Can you share some of the wording on your graphics you use on your team page? Your graphics you use on your team page. And what do you like for parties?
I just meant for like the bingo, and then like you said you have like some guidelines that you use for
yeah,
like that.
sure.
Like just for some people to be able to see, just for some ideas of like, you know, various whatever kind of things that they can use. If you feel like they work well for you.
Yep, for sure. And I can provide you guys too. If you send me a message after this, I can send them to you what I use. So for the to-do list, I have, I provide them with a save the date. So, you know, it's got the days of the week that we're having the party. And then I usually send them some type of a teaser or something that they can post. So let's say I actually just hosted a party for a bunch of women in the States, and they are big into Lululemon. So I sent her a little bit of a size guide, how we compare to Lulu and some of our products, you know, our Aligns versus our Brilliance. And I sent her a save the date. So that was number 1 on her to-do list, was to post that to her personal page to start sparking some interest. She posted that in the morning. By the end of the day, she had 15 ladies already, you know, throwing the wave, wanting more information, wanting to join. So that's one of the things that's on the to-do list. Another one is to send personal invites, right? With all of my parties, I do groups. So you have to accept the invite, right? So we're not spamming anybody. Nobody's joining that doesn't want to be there. So that's another thing on the to-do list, is to send out the personal invites. And then hopping over into the bingo. So let's say you've got one line for $5. So on the line, it might be to share my shop page, right? Because my parties, I try to get as many followers into my business page as I can. So that's always a square on my bingo for my hostess. Another one is to tag 10 friends in a post, whether it's 1 post, whether it's 5 posts, 2 people in one, but tagging them so that we can start to kind of develop a little bit of rapport. Fire away with some questions. My host, another square is to find 2 people to host parties for her, which is a big one. So that would complete the blackout. That's like probably the hardest thing to complete, is to find 2 people to host parties. So I think I've got 9 squares on the bingo, and then the to-do list, which is, I've just kind of started doing that end of December into January, and I've found it to be really successful so far. The personal invites is a big thing, and then it gives the women who are joining the party a little bit of room to ask some questions before they jump in. So I found that's really good. Is that helpful? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, cool. So the next thing that I do is I watch the invites, right? Like I am at home, so I do have a little bit more time on my hands. So as soon as my host sends out the invites, I actually go back into the group and I watch the invites. So I can see who she sent the invites to, and I do a little bit of Facebook creeping, to be honest. I like to see where these women are coming from. I like to see their interest, to kind of see what they're into, which helps me develop almost like a target market for the party, so I know which direction to go. And I'm not wasting a whole lot of time posting. You know, let's say I've got a group of teachers who are looking for clothing to wear to work, right? I'm not posting as many photos of women being in the gym. Yes, I can definitely. I'll send you guys those for sure. So I try and figure out my target market. And I mean, I do grill my hostesses with a lot of questions as to who they're inviting to, but I find it super helpful to figure out who's in the parties. Um, uh, Check the location too. I know this sounds crazy, but like it honestly really helps. Creep the women on Facebook, check out where they're from. Believe it or not, 3 weeks ago, I was hosting a party and I had 3 women from the States. So had I not looked where they were from, I would have just kept rambling on and posting my hostess's Canadian link. Well, these women can't order. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, I've got 3 of them in here. Awesome. I'm just going to send a personal message. Hey, like, thanks for joining the party. I see that you're not actually in Canada. Did you know that we've got a US line as well? I've got a US shop. That was my opening, and I booked those ladies for parties. So I had told Erin, I finally kind of got myself into the States. Had I not looked, they may have not said anything. And the one lady actually said, well, yeah, I was kind of wondering, like, I did go to try and purchase, but I couldn't check out. She may not have sent me a message. I don't know. I find a lot of people are hesitant to post messages directly on the party. And then when they message you personally, they seem to always apologize. I'm like, no, that's why I'm here. Send me messages. So check out where your ladies are coming from and use that as a way to kind of connect and reach out. I just got my list here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Another thing through my parties that I've been doing, and I've kind of changed from when I started. I mean, when I started, I was just throwing anything and everything out there, right? But you kind of figure it out as you go. I'm finding though, like I can talk Zaya until I'm blue in the face, right? I love it so much. I love everything about it. I feel like I have 500 reasons why it's so great. But I could talk it till I'm blue in the face. If I don't have anything tangible to show throughout my parties, right? Like they need to see success of others. They need to see how it's impacting others. So it's posting photos, it's saying how great things are. But I try now to share, obviously with people who have approved it, a lot of what Zaya is doing for people. And then obviously posting them wearing the clothing as well. And I always, in every post that I make, I try to include everybody, right? Like our biggest thing is that Zaya is for everybody. So I'm posting women.
With that, Allie, are you doing like your customers, you mean, or are you like other reps, or like what are you?
Yeah, okay. So let's say like in our marketing designs groups, there's so many women who have, little captions. Brooke is one of them. She's always posting amazing stuff. And I had used one of her posts that she had shared after New Year's about getting back into the gym and how everybody kind of rallied behind her just with like way to go posts and how much that did for her. So I try to showcase a lot of that in my parties. Yes, the leggings are squat proof. Yes, they don't roll down, but there's a lot more behind the brand than just that. And that's the biggest thing for me is I'm always constantly trying to show the mission, how it's inspiring and uplifting. Obviously the leggings are awesome, but what it's doing personally for people as well, whether it's reps. I mean, most of the stuff that I'm posting is from customers who have sent me photos, and that's, if any of you follow me, you'll see a lot of that. I try to post 2 or 3 days a week. Somebody who's sent me a post of them feeling good in their clothing and their little blurb of how they're feeling great or what it's doing for them. Does that kind of make sense? Like I said, I can talk Zaya till I'm blue in the face, but if I don't have anything really tangible to show, I almost just feel like a catalog pop up in my parties. Hopefully that makes some sense to you guys. Another thing with my parties that when I first started, I was like, $50 gift card for this, tank top here, tank top there. But like, man, we're running a business. We really have to think strategically on how we're doing things, right? So everybody loves a giveaway. Parties are awesome for giveaways, but I honestly, I really try to restrict myself with the giveaways. The host is the biggest one that I do. But I'm seeing a lot of recurring faces in parties, right? So I don't want them to be watching for giveaways. I don't want them to be holding on for the next one or, end of the month, Mallory usually has her best deals or whatever. I don't want that, right? So I want these popping up periodically. So if I have, let's say, a party with women and I don't know any of them, chances are I'm probably going to do a little bit of a giveaway just to spark things. But I usually don't post any type of giveaway within the first day. I feel it out, I kind of see, is anybody interacting, which direction the party's going to go. Usually, I'm sure some of you have figured it out. I can tell within the day whether it's going to be a successful party or not. I watch those invites and how quickly people accept. If it takes midday, you still only have 6 people in your party, chances are it is going to be a slower moving party, which, hey, that's totally fine. You're still, you're making the connection, still seeing some new faces. So I usually don't drop a giveaway right away. But the one thing that I do find with my giveaways, so let's say I'm going to do a $25 gift card. Obviously, if you purchase, your name goes in for the draw. I do not ever do live draws on my parties, ever. Reason being I don't is I strategically am picking who is going to receive that $25 gift card. Maybe that sounds cruel, but I'm running a business, right? I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking strategy. So for example, 2 weeks ago, I had a party and I think I maybe had six orders. And of those 6, one of them was a nurse health practitioner. She's kind of in our area, but she does a lot of traveling. A couple teachers and a hygienist. So the way I looked at it is, who is going to cross paths with the most, the same with my party giveaways, yeah. Who is going to cross paths with the most women, or who's going to have the most conversation while, wearing your light and tights. So for sure, giveaway, $25, it went to the nurse health practitioner because that's what she does daily. She sees women. Love dental hygienist, but when I go to the dentist, I'm usually not too pumped to be there. I'm not really looking at what my hygienist is wearing. I don't know. That's just kind of how I think of things. If I have a trainer in the group, sometimes if I know the trainer, they do a lot of classes. Yeah, $25 is going to them. I want them in our clothing, right? People are going to see them. So I try to do a lot of strategy when it comes to giveaways. And if my party is off to a great start, I don't do any giveaways. I mean, there's nothing in the book that says we have to. If the party's on a roll, keep it rolling. The other thing, anytime I do a giveaway, I try to link it to my shop page, right? The more followers I can have, the better. I don't do a closed shop page. Mine is open. I still am toying with the idea of shifting into a bit of a VIP group, but I've got over 400 followers, and that's pretty much linking it from parties. So if I do give a giveaway, if they've got to pop over to my shop page and find something, and then they've got a comment, it helps redirect your traffic, I guess, so to speak, which I find has really, really been helpful. All right, let me just check my list. I've got so much, I had to write it all down. Anytime that I have questions in a party, so if somebody drops a comment, I reply right within the party, but I also send a private message. I just feel like I can develop a little bit more rapport personally. I mean, it is still over social media, but you are still developing some type of rapport. And then usually they'll have a few more questions. And I honestly, 9 times out of 10, if I send them personal message, I usually get a sale out of it. If I'm just commenting or replying over the party, it's a little bit vague. I don't usually land a sale. So I find the personal connection is really good. Another one that, and I guess I'll kind of shift, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I'll kind of shift into how I land a lot of my parties. I was, again, doing a lot of free tank top because I need hostesses for February. I will do that if I'm slow. If I don't have a lot going on, then absolutely. But I try to use my parties to piggyback to book more parties. A big question that we're always asked is price point. Why is Zaya so expensive? I don't think it is, but that is a common question I think straight across the board as reps we all get, right? I love the question. I really do, because that is just opening for you to make a connection with this lady. And the best way I respond to it is, well, hey, why don't we book you a party? Get you, 50% off and some free credit. Cuts your cost right there, and then we'll get you into some of our products and see what you think. like, sorry, Darlene, who's hosting the party, I probably just stole a couple of your sales. But again, it's strategy. We're looking to build a business, and the more parties I have booked, the better I do, because that's where 90% of my sales come from. So I love that question. Obviously, I can go into more detail about how we differ, but I find that's like a perfect one for like hitting home for a party booking. I love when I see that question pop out. Where are we here? The posting thank yous, and I know, I think I've followed lots of your parties. I think most of us do it, but posting the party thank yous and, you know, showcasing what items they've purchased and tagging them in it, I find is awesome. That usually sparks the party, because I think all the ladies in the party are like, oh wow, they know who's purchasing, and now they're posting it. So everybody in the party knows who's purchasing. So I find like that kind of sparks things and gets things rolling a little bit too. What else do I got? Anybody have questions? I feel like I'm just all over the place, but I love parties. I really do. Oh, yes. I try to do, I've been getting lots of questions from my reps on how I book the parties or how I get people to join, although I haven't had people join in a while. I've got to work on that. But I always do my last post of the day. So for myself, I can spend more time in the evening on social media, just kind of cruising around, browsing. So I try to leave my biggest hit home lasting thoughts for my last post of the day mid-evening around 8, and then I stop posting after that. So that's usually when I drop an awesome post about becoming a rep or hosting a party, because that's the last thing they're going to read. That's the last thing they're going to see, and it kind of gets the ball rolling. So I just try to drop, what is that, hints, I guess, throughout, but that's when I post anything about becoming a rep or joining is usually later evening, around about 8 o'clock. And then I sign off and I don't show back up until the morning. So that's really worked for me. A lot of my stuff, though, I have been doing online, like I said, just because I don't have as much time to get away. I'm still working as a trainer too, so I have hockey teams that I'm training a couple towns over, so that takes up a bit of my evening time. So I did, and I got this idea from Erin a while back, was doing the style box, you know, where you can, and I had my pregnancy, so I do have a variety of sizes, which helps. So I do offer the style box, and I've also started doing a party style box. I had just dropped one off on Saturday in the city for a gal who was interested in actually becoming a rep. And I said, well, if you want to host a party and you don't want me there, I'll pack a bunch of things up for you. I'll put a bunch of info. I created little size cards, popped everything in, dropped it off to her. You know, I've got, I think 3 sales so far for her. She's doing a party. And so that's another thing that I'm going to start doing. I really don't have the time right now to be doing the in-person events. So if I can offer any, I mean, you have to be okay with sending your stuff out. I totally am. So I find that's been super great, because I've only started doing the party style box. My style box probably goes out once a week. Like, the ladies around here love it. And I find like it's helpful for parties too. So I had a lady in Russell, which is about 25 minutes from here. She was going to host a party. So I packed up a few things and I took them to her the week before. So she popped around at work, she popped around house to house, and everybody had a look and tried things on, which makes a big difference. And I know that's not possible all the time, because we can, like I said, I had a party for women in the US. Well, I can't get anything to them. But if you have parties that are close in your area, offer that service. It is a huge difference. It gives you a good idea of sizes, even if you can't pinpoint for sure. I've found that has been super helpful with the parties that I have the ability to do that. So I think the biggest thing is, like I said, I do love doing parties, but I always think strategically. Like, I go into these parties with a game plan. And yeah, don't get me wrong, some are a complete bust and a complete flop, but that's usually when I reevaluate and change a few things. I never do more than 2 parties per week. I have in the past, and by the time I get to that 3rd or 4th party, I'm not putting in enough effort. I know I'm not, so I just avoid doing it. I am terrified of being kicked out of Facebook, so I follow the rules as close as possible. So with spacing out timing of posts, I I post fresh all the time, right? Like it's something a little bit different. It's not generated. It's literally me popping in, going into my notes, finding a few photos, maybe popping into marketing designs group, typing some things up. And I usually wait 10, 15 minutes to go to party 2. I can't go to party 3 anymore. It's just, I'm not giving my full time and energy. So I try to only book 2 a week. And people are totally fine with that. If you tell them the dates that you're available, and they usually are pretty A-okay with it. So those are just kind of some things that I've been finding work, and it's like, it is true trial and error. Do not get me wrong. Like I said, it's a business, but we do have to think strategically so that we're always kind of one step ahead and continuing to build and grow our business. I think that's kind of all that I've got. Helpful. Anybody have questions? I know I'm gonna walk away and be like, oh, I forgot to tell them that, but I think I pretty much hit everything that I had.
No, that was really great. And if you, whatever you can post of like whatever, things that you find helpful, wording, whatever it is great. Cause I think it's always great to hear, other little like just kind of tweaks. Cause a lot of us do similar things, but just, just a tiny little thing can make a huge difference. And, maybe get somebody more excited about joining or, hosting another party or whatever it is. So, I think this was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, it was a little out of my comfort zone, but now I've got one under my belt. So maybe I'll be back.
Yes, you will.
Yes, and I'll definitely post my to-do list and my bingo, and then you guys can tailor it or whatever you want to do with it. But I do find they're super, super helpful.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because the corporate call is starting here in like 2 minutes. So that way everybody can click on to that Zoom and hop in and see what all is happening from the corporate level. But thank you to all of you that have hopped on tonight. I so appreciate seeing everybody. And this was great. So thank you so much for all the helpful tips. Loved it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Okay, bye.